I don't know what happened. Anyway, I just spent the past 12 minutes explaining what the fuck I was going to do, but apparently my phone timed out. I didn't hit the button right. So you missed me putting my shoes on and talking about the lead paint discovery and all that shit. So fuck it. Yeah, there's lead paint. The next step is going to be stripping down at least where the bubble has happened in between this is the lead, and this, where it didn't, I don't know if this is separated or if it's been allowed to, some places are okay, like this right here, it's a fairly crisp line, but it's textured because of lack of preparation from previous paintings, and unless it's going to be fucking textured, your shit needs to be smooth. Like this is ribbed. That's a texture. Brick, texture. Smooth wood, not texture. You don't want lumpy bits. You want to sand down the lumpy bits. Like here. Okay, you're rolling, you get a little paint, a dried paint glub in your shit, and you put it on there, and it creates that little motherfucker right there. You know what you do with that? That. Get it off of there. Take a piece of sand, touch it up. Take your piece of sandpaper, knock it down. Take that shit out. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, I mean, nobody's gonna see it, but I see it. And where the paint, here's a good example. I don't know if that's visible, but here in the corner, you see those ripples? Those lines, it's where the paint, you put paint on and it's basically a sheet of plastic, rubber, latex, or oil based. It's supposed to give a little bit, so when it does shift, it gives a little bit. So when you have things that have moved, clean it up. A little bit extra work, but that's not hard to do. It's harder to do now because trying to clean that up chips everything away. But fuck it. So put chemical stripper on it. It's like a citrus, water-based, real non-invasive stuff. So I'm gonna dab it on, scrape it off, minimize the dust, not sand anymore, and god damn it, cat. No chipping, no scraping, no sanding, no using the planer on, or the belt sander on fucking lead-based paint. Oh my fuck. Luckily I had it all contained. Drop cloths everywhere, and for the most part I contained all the chips. But my son's going to, it's like the ceiling here where the paint, I'm not a fan of masking because I believe you should be able to control your brush, but at the same time you have to know when that's not possible, and you have to mask some things because that wood, if it was a varnish or something, yeah, you get paint on it, you wipe it right off. But this is like a raw material, so anytime paint even touches it, it's in, it's soaked in, just like brick. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting a shoe molding to match the color of the ceiling. I don't know if I said that in the last video or the one that I didn't record or this one, but whatever, that's what's gonna happen. Just a small 3/6 or like a 3/8, 7/16, half inch. Might be a little too big, too invasive. I don't want white, but I can get something to match that. That's a final detail. That's just a thing to appease me more than anything. But my son today is going to clean the paint off of the brick. That's gonna be, I mean, you're looking at, that's a tedious task, but I don't want to scrape and clean all the brick because it's got a good weathered feel to it. And I don't want to make it all shiny and red on the edges because that's the opposite of what I'm going for. So just a little bit. There he is. Did you shower?
Yeah.
Or are you just all sweaty? I ain't doing nothing for a couple hours. I ain't doing anything until it's above 50 degrees. But I was just explaining on the video what your job is. So instead of trying to scrape and clean the entire wall, I'm gonna try to get in here with some little brushes and chemical and try to loosen it and knock it away. Because if we scrape and clean that all the way down to the bare brick, it's going to turn this into like a bright red clean brick around the edges, which is going to draw unnecessary attention.
Why not just do that for the whole thing?
That's because I don't want to do it for the whole thing. Because it is that textured brick. Once you start scraping and hitting it hard, you start removing that. And this has a decent weathered feel that I kind of like. It's either that or cover it. Completely just cover it. Or paint it and seal it like a plaster. So. But I'm gonna go make some breakfast, make some coffee, hang out. We probably got about an hour or so before we get hitting it. So that's us today. Fuck off. I got shit to do.